Hi guys, it's Brianna. It is October 5th. It's Friday. Just under the wire. I just got back from walking the dogs. I'm in my bedroom and I thought you guys would find it interesting. It's been a really long time since I've vlogged consistently, and I've gotten a new phone case, and and what I have holding up my phone right now so that I could get this angle and also get my face and like try to not get too much glare from my bedside table lamp. It's kind of funny because I do have a stack of books right there in my bay window right now, and anybody else a book collector? There's some of them I will never get rid of. Some of them I desperately want to read and I haven't read yet. And asking an English major to get rid of books that she hasn't read yet is like, it's like a sin. I'm sorry, it just is. Anyhow, so it's just funny because you're actually sitting on my bedside table. I'm sitting in my like flower chair that I got at a garage sale years ago. That's a whole other conversation. And the books that I use to get the right height is a copy of James Joyce Dubliners collection of essays and my Bible, one of my Bibles, which is like a journal devotional Bible. So anyhow, interesting, nice little mix, I guess. I am not Catholic. I'm not Irish Catholic. I probably have some Irish in me, but I don't know, maybe this month we'll do a ancestry DNA and figure out my ancestry. And then, oh my gosh, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? Okay, file it away. So I took the dogs for a late walk. It's one of the things that I do on the regular to decompress in the evenings if I can. If the boys are on board, I will do it. Honestly, the weather in the desert in the summer has been very, very difficult. And honestly, like, the dog's paws can't take the heat on the concrete, literally. So I really try not to subject them to that because they are inside dogs. But the weather lifted. We had some rain this week, which is like a Christmas miracle. And so we've taken the dogs for a walk the last couple of days. Hi, puppies. And you never want to get up here. What's going on, girl? So the boys are with their dad this weekend. I hate the way that sounds. They're with my husband, their father, their dad, my husband. We're separated right now, and it's been about 6 months. And that's one of the things that I haven't discussed before. And it's not the first time that we've separated. It feels weird saying that, their dad, like, instead of my husband. So he's still my husband. And for all intents and purposes, hopefully will continue to be my husband. So, ring's still on, I mean, it's complicated. It's amicable, but complicated. Anyway, so, sorry, that just kind of came out, and, I'm just not gonna edit it. So the kids are with him this weekend. So I am flying solo this weekend. I went out of town last weekend to Palm Springs, or no, last weekend I was with the kids. You know, it was my weekend. And then the weekend before that, I was in Palm Springs for a girls' weekend. So this weekend, I just kind of like need to wrap up some stuff around the house and, you know, just kind of take care of me. I want to do some sauna time, you know, decompress. I just want to, you know, do a couple of things that I really keep procrastinating on. You know, clear a couple of piles in the house as far as clutter is concerned. Something that I definitely struggled with when I was in the depths of my depression that I'm still kind of digging out of is clutter and piles in the house and things not getting put away. So I'm not gonna overwhelm myself. I'm not gonna like declutter the whole house in a weekend or anything. Okay. I've read all the books. I follow a couple of blogs. I follow a few YouTube channels. You know, it's probably something I'll document for you guys along the way in the next few months, but it's definitely not something I'm going to solve overnight. I've been doing really good on programs, so I feel really good. And I will give more insight on, you know, I had a comment in the last couple of days, and I've had this comment before, so I want to be clear. And I honestly, this deserves its own in-depth video. You know, somebody said like, oh, I did this program too. They were talking about Medifast, which is our parent company of Optavia, Take Shape for Life. And the difference is that Medifast was the fuelings. Optavia and Take Shape for Life actually provided a coach and had kind of a different take on it. Like, it wasn't just the fuelings. We're not just the fuelings. It's actually coaching and community, habits of health, right? But somebody said something like, oh, you know, and it seems like everybody that's done Medifast gained the weight back. And to be honest with you, that's not true. And I went a good, I don't know, I've been coaching for over 6 years now. So like 2011 I started. So like there's been plenty of times that I maintained. This wasn't like I went off the food and I regained my weight. This was definitely like an emotional choice, if that makes sense. So there's been plenty of times that I've maintained after losing weight on program. There's been, you know, I gained weight during pregnancy. I lost that weight. I maintained that for quite some time. So I didn't regain my weight overnight. It wasn't quick. It took me like 2.5 years to regain what I regained. So it's a different topic for a different conversation, different time, but just something that I don't know why it was kind of, you know, itching at me all day is it's too in-depth. Medifast by yourself, Take Shape for Life, or now what we call Optavia with a coach, community. If you use everything that is at your disposal, the community, the fuelings, your coach, the habits of health, it has all the tools to maintain. So it's, again, like I mentioned previously, not a flaw of the program at all. I was not following the program. So this isn't like, oh, I was following the maintenance plan and I gained my weight back. This is not what happened, guys. Like, I was totally off the rails. And this isn't you have to stay on the fuelings forever or you're going to gain your weight back. No, I maintained without the fuelings before. This is not, you know, so I know I knew that it was going to get into this a little bit when I kind of came back, and that's okay. It's totally fine. But I will not kind of buy into the theory that if you use a structured fueling program, one that actually that's like ours, that has a transition and maintenance that transitions you to whole foods. You don't have to use the fuelings forever if you don't want to. That's a choice. But yeah, you have to stay in structure. I mean, like any structure, the structure that you choose. I've had clients transition to, paleo. I've had clients transition to being vegan. I've had clients transition to, just logging their food. I've had clients transition to just, they're keeping it off and they're doing fine. So, anyway, another time, a very different discussion. But I just wanted to throw that out there. This isn't one of those situations like I stopped eating the fuelings and I ballooned back up. My journey is very personal to me. It has a lot to do with an emotional journey, has a lot to do with my family and what was going on with my marriage, things that I didn't discuss. And, that's kind of where I'm at. So everybody's journey is different. Sometimes it's, everybody's journey is different. Why we regain weight is probably going to be different and unique to you than it is to me. Sometimes it is. We go off track and, we just totally blow it and start eating out again and go back into old habits. Sometimes it's a gradual kind of progression and loss of the things that we learned. And sometimes there's situations that come into your life that kind of challenge you in a way, and you decide to, kind of fight or flight. And I totally gave up on myself, to be honest with you. It's not funny. It's just, I don't want to cry in this video. Anyway, so I'll be discussing that and kind of getting into a little bit of that, like why do people regain weight after they are successful? And for a majority of people, it is more complicated than they just, I wasn't in diet mentality. And I wasn't a yo-yo dieter, if that made sense. I'd never lost 100 pounds before. But I don't want to get into semantics tonight. So anyhow, that I think if you guys have questions about that, comments, I would love to have that discussion. I think it's a really interesting, incredible discussion to have. And I think it's one of the catalysts and one of the long time, right? Like one of the long time questions that we've all asked like ourselves. I ask it of my new clients, what didn't work for you before? Why didn't it work for you? If you had success, why did you gain it back? But a majority of the time, their stories are very different than mine. They didn't get all the way down to their goal. They didn't maintain for any set of time. It was more like the same 10, 15, 20 pounds up and down, up and down. And so my story is a bit different, but it doesn't make anybody's less significant. So I have my own thoughts on my stuff and on, kind of the typical story stuff, I guess, or like on things that would fall under typical yo-yo dieting. But to be honest with you, I know a ton of people, thousands of people in our organization that have maintained their weight. And so if you're doing everything that's related to the program, including the habits of health and looking at your goals, connecting with your coach, connecting with the community, I really don't think that you'll regain. I really don't. So I went into isolation And that was one of the big mistakes that I made. I just kind of shut down and disconnected. And anyway, longer story for a different day. But I appreciate the dialogue, and I like kind of that this is making me kind of evaluate my own journey as I get back on track. So the week has been going good. It's Friday. I have the weekend to myself without my kiddos, which is weird, but also sometimes a good time to focus on myself. And now I guess the cat is out of the bag. And you guys know that one of the emotional things that I've been challenged with is that I am single parenting most of the time, especially during the week. So it affects how I, do my lead and greens and my schedule and my stress level and the adjustment and everything in between. Managing my emotions, the kids' emotions, trying to do everything for everybody. But I went for a walk today with the dogs. And I'm on plan. Anyway, so I hope you guys had a good Friday night. That's what's going on with me. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope that the recipe videos that I post are going to be helpful to you guys. So if you want to participate more in the discussion about kind of this, once you go off whatever program, it might be a different program. It might be Weight Watchers, it might be Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, keto, paleo, our program, trying to think of what else is out there. Honestly, I haven't researched diets and programs in forever. But it'll help me create a video that kind of answers why is our program different, what was missing for me personally, and why I personally regained the weight, because it was very personal to what was going on in my life. And I had a very good, 4.5 years that I didn't regain the weight. So, it's not like, I don't know. I don't feel like my story is typical. I don't feel like it's like a dieting story. I think it's more complicated than that. But again, I totally defend the program. That's why I'm doing it again this time. I'm not switching programs. I'm not trying something new. I'm not doing something else. And it's because I believe in it. That's what gave me my health back in the first place. But it's because I was not following the steps and doing the components. So had I been doing that, I totally would have stayed at a healthy weight. But I didn't do that. So that's just me having ownership. So for anybody out there, you kind of have to take a look at yourself and think, what's my part in this? Because it doesn't have to be a fad. It shouldn't be a fad. When you're ready to change your life, you will. And sometimes you're going to go through seasons that are extremely difficult, and those old habits will come back. But there are tools to help you get through. Community, support, habits, education, structured program, which is what I need. Everybody's different. So find what works for you. And I would really hold on to that, because I wish I would have. Anyway. All right. The dogs are walked. I'm going to go get some water myself and go to bed. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. All right. I would really, really, really love to start this discussion below. And any questions that you guys have for me, honestly, do y'all want to do a Q&A as to what happened in my life the last 2 years and kind of what might have thrown me off track after so much success? I'm totally open to answering those questions, whether it might help you, somebody you know, or somebody that wants to start the journey and feels like, oh gosh, well, you know, if she struggled and gained some weight back, then what chance do I have? You have every chance in the world, because this wasn't a flaw of the program. I really went through the most difficult time in my life, and it's not an excuse. It's just, you know, it was a struggle for me. So I'll get into it more later. I love you guys. Thanks so much for all the support. I love that you guys are engaged again, and if there's anybody else that I can support along the way, good, bad, or ugly, I've seen it all and I've lived it all. So let's do this together. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.